Hi guys, it's Patricia from A Haven Life just coming to you today. I know it's a little past the time I had promised of a week before our next series, or the final part of our series, which is Judgment from Others. We've already completed Judgment of Self, and it's very likely that we're doing that too harshly. The second one is Others Judging of Us. And so I was realizing that I hadn't completed the series, and well, life happens and you just got to go with the flow. So I did. And currently I am in my car and I'm headed out to do something with my family. So I wanted to just make sure to close that whole series up for you guys. Okay, so this is very specific to others judging us. Now, whether you are a very Zen person and you think you've got it all under control, in a sense where you've done your affirmations, you started your day on a wonderful note, and somebody judges you, you could still be a very Zen person and be a mindful person and still have that happen to you. Now, what we do with that is very different, right? We might be able to brush it off and it goes just fine, but there's moments in our lives that we might not always be prepared for those judgments from other people, and that happens to the best of us. Now, I would definitely have to say that I've grown up with quite a bit of judgment in my life towards me, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of perspective in terms of how I have perceived others judging myself, and why, where does that come from? So for instance, if last week you had paid attention and listened, we judge people based off of perceptions of which we were born into. Now, we are born into a very specific religion, or not a religion, or a specific ethnic background, or, in my case, I'm Native American. So those all of those little packages that we are born with and born into, we then take into the world. So when we are judging others, therefore that means others are judging us based off of their what? Packages. Are you still with me? So that's essentially it, guys. Just remember that other people are going to look at you through those lenses. Now, those are their recordings, and whether you choose to accept them is completely up to you. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background. As I have promised, I would continue to give you guys a little more of myself and where I come from. As I had mentioned before, I was born to a very young mom, and who I love dearly, and I also was taken away from her and placed into foster care, and from that point forward I bounced around quite a bit. I was blessed with a wonderful home much later in my teenage years, and I got to meet two amazing people, and they are my parents. I mean, yes, they were my foster parents, but they are my parents. I was very close to my foster father, and I learned a lot from them in terms of love, forgiveness, and self-worth. My dad was one of the people that pretty much picked me up, dusted me off, and said, "You are worth so much more than you understand." And I didn't understand until he showed me what real unconditional love was supposed to look like. And along the way, I met my best friend and my husband, and he and my father really repaired a lot of my pre-existing judgments of others as well. So they were crucial in my ability of healing. Now, my foster mother is an amazing and strong woman, and she taught me to be strong and to not accept a whole lot of crap from other people. And even though I had learned to do much of that, I still had a lot of growth to do and to heal. So that being said, there's a lot of healing that has to take place from my history, from where I come from. But I'm going to give you a little perspective of where I come from in terms of where I had experienced judgment of myself, people who judging me, right? So we all come with a wonderful background, and mine is, as I mentioned a little earlier, I'm Native American, and I'm also Mexican, so I have this great and beautiful combination. However, growing up, I was never introduced to the Mexican side of myself. I was definitely brought up in a Native American culture, as well as a spiritualist culture, and so I definitely had that foundation set for me. So I also have experienced the fact that since I don't speak Spanish, I say didn't because at that time I didn't, when I was very young, and in my teenage years I didn't speak Spanish, but people would walk up to me and just make an assumption that I was supposed to. Even though I had never grown up speaking Spanish, it was very difficult for me, and there was a lot of judgment passed on me because of that. And as I got older and a little wiser, I recognized that they had their own perceptions and therefore they were judging me based off of that. So I no longer allowed it to bother me, and I grew up past that. There was other things about growing up where I did not have a whole lot of things, and my mom was very young and she did what she could, but we didn't have a whole lot, so therefore people judged me based off of what I didn't have. And that, again, I think created a lot of empathy in myself for other people who may have been experiencing the same thing. And so I'm an advocate for making sure that I give to others and make sure to lift them up. And so yes, I have been judged quite a bit, and I still to this very day am experiencing it because of the fact that we are so polarized right now. And that's a scary place to be in terms of where I come from, because I have a certain look, if that makes sense. So but either way, I know that I am healed, and therefore I can help heal others from that. When we come into this world and we are given a specific set of cultural backgrounds and expectations, we are then responsible. We are responsible once we get to a certain point of looking at that and wondering, is this correct? Or is it not correct? Is this something that I want to carry into my future? Or is this something I don't want to carry into my future? We are ultimately responsible for those things. And it's a karmic experience, right? So we have to remember that when we place judgment on others and others are judging us, that those are all going to come back. It's all energy, guys. We all put that into the world, therefore it will come back to us in different ways, but we still have to pay for that, right? So that's it for me in terms of judgment from others and where their package is coming from and what they're thinking and why that's coming to you based off of from their history. So remember that we shouldn't take what they're saying or thinking of us too harshly, because the truth of the matter is it's from them, not from us. So I hope that this is bringing value to you guys. I hope that you're really enjoying these series, because I plan to bring you more as time goes on. And I really appreciate you guys listening. So thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead of you, and I'll be coming to you soon. Bye. Thank you. Bye.